welcome to my channel, welcome back. I am Would You Clay With Me and I make stuff with clay. This is actually a very first time I'm speaking in a video. In my previous vlogs, I don't speak, it's just me playing lo-fi music in the background. But I thought this video was a bit more appropriate for me to do a voiceover because it's easier for me to explain whatever I'm doing to make this tray. So this trinket tray was commissioned by one of my friends for her boyfriend. If I'm not wrong, I think it's an anniversary gift, either that or a birthday gift. So usually when I do my trays, I will do a draft sketch of how it will look like, and I'll insert a photo here. But this sketch isn't very rendered or like 100% complete because we had the opportunity to sit down and talk face to face because we're in the same class. So I sort of had most of the details discussed in person and I didn't really have to sketch it out. But this is just roughly how my sketches would look like. Completed versions would look more like this, but yeah. So first thing that I did was did the clay base out of airdry clay, make the shape, and then after that I just sanded it down really smoothly, covering all the sides because usually when I cut the tray shape, the tool does leave like a mark, so that's not very nice. But yeah, so once that is done, the next thing that I did was make the bench. So I have a lot of wood scraps. I am a hoarder. I collect everything and anything, and these actually came to use because most of the things that I make are really small, so these smaller pieces of wood, yep, they come in handy. Yeah, I'm just sorting through the pieces and then I started making the bench. You would see me trying to measure things, but honestly I don't even know what I was measuring. I think I was just doing it for fun, and then I realized that it's mainly just eyeballing everything. And I also had like the guidelines on the cutting mat, so I decided to follow that instead of the ruler. So I cut out two bigger pieces. One is for the seat and the other one was for the backrest, but I found out that they were a bit too wide, so I trimmed it down a little bit more. Also, just wanted to say, whenever you're working with wood, I don't think it is advisable to brush your finger like against the edge where you just cut. I don't know why I did that, but now I know I shouldn't do that because it looked kind of dangerous, like you may get splinters. Once everything was cut, I just glued them all together. Now that the bench is done, the next thing that I moved on to was the picnic mat. I did sculpt this off camera because I actually forgot to make the picnic mat. But yeah, once it's dried, I painted it white. And although the airdry clay is white, the reason why I'm painting it white again is because I found out that once I put resin over the clay that isn't painted, the clay will absorb the resin and then the clay would become yellow. So that's the reason why for the white. And while that was drying, I painted the clay base a green color. As for the picnic mat, it will be a brown checkered picnic mat, and I'm freehanding it because I honestly don't like measuring, and I know there's like a washi tape method to make checkered patterns, I think, but honestly I just thought freehanding it was a bit more fun. And although it's a bit more effort because you have to go over the lines again and make sure everything is straight, I think personally I find it quite relaxing. And usually when I paint my clay stuff, I would do multiple things at once because I do find it a bit time wasting to just wait for one thing to dry and then I move on to the next. So yeah, to make the lines a bit more clean, I am going over the brown squares with white paint. And this is in real speed. It's really slow, but it gets the job done. Once that's done, I stamped the back of the tray with my little stamp, and then I glued the picnic mat onto the clay base. So the basic structure of the tray is done, and I'll be moving on to the more nitty-gritty parts of the tray, which is the other details. And usually for smaller details like this, I will use polymer clay. So okay, actually from here moving onwards, I just use polymer clay, and I am making a rabbit. So pretty basic, the head, the body, and then I just sculpted the arms, the legs, and the ears and attached everything together. Actually, I started using polymer clay recently. I think it was late last year or mid last year if I'm not wrong, and I'm still getting used to it. I think I need to invest in better like polymer clay sculpting tools, those like silicone kind of tools, because I think my fat fingers cannot sculpt like the teeny tiniest details. So yeah, that's something I have to look into, but I think overall, the polymer clay stuff that I made in this video turned out fine. There were actually a lot of animals that I had to sculpt in this tray, so I just sped that up in this video because I think it's pretty repetitive. I mainly sculpted the head first, body, and then the arms, the legs, the tail, and the ears. So I'm sculpting 1 rabbit and 3 cats. Once I was done with the animals, I sculpted a tiny little chocolate cake. It was just really simple. Not much detail for this one actually. Just a chocolate cake, chocolate icing on top, and a strawberry. To add texture to the animals, I used the end of my clay tool and I just sort of like poked at it. I don't know what word I can describe it, but yeah, just to make textures, I poked at it and like to make it look like they were fluffy. And I'm done with the animals. So while they were baking, I decided to resin the bottom of the tray. And while that was curing, I started to work on the details of the animals. Like I said, I like doing multiple things at once. I think it's a bit more productive and less time wasting if I do multiple things at once. Although sometimes I do get overwhelmed, but I think I am pretty used to it now. So usually when I resin stuff while they are curing, I will make myself busy and I'll be doing other stuff. And in this case, I'm painting the details on the animals. And once I was done, actually, I did not film this part, I forgot, but I would like to work in parts as well. So what I did was I stuck the animals on the tray and then I resined that small part of the tray. And then I moved on to sculpting the human figures. And I did not film that as well because I was a little bit stressed, but I think it turned out fine. And once they were baked, I added some more details or just touched up the figures a bit more with acrylic paint just to make sure that everything looks smoother and better. And once that was done, I painted on the details of the facial features and then glazed them with resin. And the tray is done. I hope this gives you a bit more insight. I wouldn't say this is a step-by-step tutorial on how to make a trinket tray or anything. I think it's just a look into my process. And let me know if you like more videos like this. I'm planning to maybe make more videos on how I make my keychains. Let me know in the comments if you want me to talk. If not, I'll just stay silent in the next few videos. Thank you and bye bye.